everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be testing out Sigma's new collection. I'm super excited. This palette is so pretty. Now let me just tell you, this palette is by far the best palette that Sigma has brought out. Like, I'm not kidding. The shadows are beautiful, they're super pigmented, and they blend so easy. So before we jump into the video, I just wanted to explain a few things from the collection. So this collection is called Cora de Rose, and it is inspired by the Cora de Rose blush, and the name Cora de Rose means the color of the rose, so I think that's pretty cute. So the palette has 14 blendable shades in matte, shimmer, and metallic finishes, and it does come with a brush in the palette, which of course I love Sigma brushes. If you guys follow me on my journey since I've started YouTube and Instagram and makeup, I've been so obsessed with just Sigma brushes. They're like 99% of my brush collection. The liquid lipstick is a lightweight satin matte and a long wearing hydration formula. It's so easy to apply and it's like wearing nothing on the lips. And then there's 3 lip glosses in this collection. They are smooth, lightweight, and with a non-sticky moisturizing formula. I will leave links down below to these products and also my discount code if you guys wanted to get 10% off. Just as a little disclaimer, I poked myself in the eye at the start of doing my makeup and it will not stop watering and it's super irritated. So if you see a little bit of black liner where it's not meant to be, once I poke my eye and once it gets irritated, it just does not stop. I know that from past experience. So if you guys are interested in seeing this makeup look that I come up with using the collection, then just keep on watching. So first of all, I'm gonna start by priming my eyelids because we are going to start on the eyes today, and I'm going to use the eyeshadow base primer in the shade Ignite. So it's just a light colored eyeshadow base, and what I'm gonna do with this is just start out by putting it all over the eyelid, and I'm going to then clean it up with a concealer brush, and the one that I'm using is the Cut Crease E64 to define underneath my eyebrows. And then I'm just going to use my finger and kind of just tap that into the skin nice and lightly. Also, excuse the ISO nails, they are 6 weeks old. They are my natural nails. I just get gel over them. Honestly, after this video I'm going to cut them all off because like I said, they were 6 weeks old and they're starting to just lift now, and I don't want to snap my nails off. I'm so devastated because I've been growing them for so long that they're like such a nice long length, and now I have to say goodbye to them. They will grow back one day, so I'm not too worried. So I don't really know what look we're gonna go with today. We are just gonna wing it. I'm gonna start off with using the brush that comes in the palette, which is the E38 Diffused Crease, and the shade that I'm gonna pick up is Hybrid, which is that beautiful peachy color right here, and I'm going to run that through the crease area, really blending it out on the outer corner of the eye. These shadows are so pigmented. Look at that. That's so pretty. That's such a pretty color. So as you can see, I'm really just taking that through the crease area just like that, and I'm going to buff and diffuse that out. Because I do have hooded eyes, I do take it up a little bit higher just so that when I look straight ahead, there is a beautiful transition of color above my eyelid, blending up to the eyebrow. So next up, we're going to take this shade right here, which is called Apricot. It's a beautiful peachy shade, and I'm just going to use the same brush that we applied Hybrid with, but what I'm going to do is just take it a little bit higher and keep it on the edge of the brow bone just to really blend out that color. You can see the 2 transitions of the color, so you have that beautiful pinky shade, which was the Hybrid, which was what we first put down, and then it kind of blends in to Apricot above the brow bone there. And don't worry if you take it too high because we can clean up the brows later on. So the next shade we're going to go in with is something a little bit deeper to deepen up the crease, and I'm going to use Summer Song, which is a beautiful brown shade, and I'm going to use this on more of a tapered brush. This one is the E25 Blending from Sigma. So this is really going to get into the crease and diffuse the color. So you can see that I'm taking that color right from the outer crease area right into that inner crease, because we are going to do a nice cut crease. So we want that inner crease area to be nice and deep and defined as well. And then I'm just going to switch up brushes. We're going to go back to the brush that comes with the palette, and we're going to dip into Hybrid again, and we're just going to go over the top of the Summer Song shade and really just help blend that in. So now we are going to use a smaller, more defined and tapered brush, which is the Blending E36 by Sigma. It's quite small, and we are going to pick up the shade Barefoot, and what we're going to do is run that through the crease and just keep it really defined to the crease area and deepen it up from the outer corner to the inner corner. So picking up the E25 blending brush again, which is the same brush we use for Summer Song, I'm just going to dip into that same shade just because I want to blow it out a little bit more. So I'm using a bit more of that bigger brush to really blow it out and to blend it out as well. Just because I wanted it a little bit darker, and because the brush is bigger, it's just a lot easier to do and a lot quicker to do. Going back in with E38, I'm just going to blend those edges so there's no harsh lines. I like to keep all my pressure at the end of the brush just so it's not too heavy when I'm going to the front of the brush, but I find it blends so much better when you have your hand at the end of the brush. So now we're going to cut the crease, and I'm going to use Sigma Eyeshadow Base Primer in the shade Bubbly, which is just like a beautiful champagne-y, pinky, shimmery shade. I'm just going to use this as a base, and we're going to go in with one of the beautiful shimmers from the palette. I'm actually going to use a brush to apply it, and just using the same E62 cut crease brush, I'm just going to take it off the actual stick thing just so I can be really precise when I cut the crease. So you can see how nice and shimmery that is, and we are going to put a eyeshadow on top just to really intensify it. Another way you can do it is just going in using the eyeshadow primer and just kind of put it more towards the lash line. Then you can go in with the brush and really define the cut crease that you're wanting. There's so many different shapes of cut creases you can do, so it just all depends on what mood you're in or what you're feeling or your eye shape or anything like that. So now that we've cut the crease, we're going to go back in with the E25 blending, and we're going to pick up the shade Barefoot, which is the deep brown shade, and we're just going to blend that on the outer corner of the eye just to really deepen up that crease area there. And what I do is I kind of just blend it back on to the eyeshadow base that we used to cut the crease. Now we're going to use the E54 medium sweeper, which is the other side of the brush that come with a palette, and we're going to dip into this beautiful pinky champagne-y Belle of the Ball, it's called, the shade name, and I'm just going to pat that down on the cut crease that we did onto the monolid, and as you can see it just intensifies the color that we put down. So taking a clean E25 brush by Sigma, I'm going to dip in to this beautiful pink shade which is called Damask, and I'm just going to go over this area here where we've put down the shimmer and that deeper shade just to kind of blend those two together and just to add a little pop of pink in there. So now I'm going to do a wing, and we're going to use the Sigma Liquid Pen Eyeliner. Love this. It's so good. Ignore all this fallout down here. It's not too bad. I just went in too heavy. It's so hard to do a wing and talk. So I'm going to fix up this eye, do the other eye, and I'll be back. So now the eyes are done. I've done a wing, and I also just popped some lashes on off camera as well just because it was easier. So let's start with the face. I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty All Over Body Highlighters. I have two that I'm going to mix. I have Aurora and Luna. Oh my god, this is probably way too much, so I don't suggest you use that much. And the brush that I'm going to use to blend that in is the F89. I love this brush. It's a baked kabuki, but it's angled. Oh my god. All right, let's just quickly blend this in because it does dry really quickly. I'm going to look like Tin Man for a hot minute. I shouldn't have put so much of So that was definitely way too much. We're gonna fix this. I look so crazy right now, but we're gonna go in with some foundation. And the foundation that I'm gonna use today is the L'Oreal Pro Glow in the shade. This is 204 Natural Buff. And I'm just gonna pop that, all over my face. I really suggest that you don't use too much of the Huda Beauty Glow. A little goes a long way. I apologize if I'm looking down. I'm looking down at my mirror because the room that I've set up to film in isn't fully complete. But you know, I wanted to get a video up because I wanted to test out this palette. For a hot minute there, I thought we were in a bit of trouble, but you just really need to trust the process. It always looks crazy before it starts to look good. And I'm just using the same brush to apply that foundation all over the face. So now I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution concealers in the shade C6.5 and C8.5, and I'm just going to place this underneath the eyes and down the center of the face. Then I'm just going to blend that out using the F79 by Sigma. I love this brush to blend out concealer. So now we're going to do a bit of cream contouring, and I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Tan Tool in the shade Fair. And the brush that I'm going to use is the F77 by Sigma. It is called the Chisel and Trim Contour. It's really dense and flat, perfect to chisel out them cheekbones. So now that's on, I'm going to get a clean brush, and this is the 3D HD Kabuki, and I'm just going to blend that out. I don't like to drag it downwards, but we can clean this up later on if we do drag it too far down. Just taking that along the jawline as well. I almost forgot the nose, so I'm just going to take the same brush that we contoured with and just put a little tiny bit on each side of the nose, and then just blend that out with the same brush that we've blended everything else out. So now I'm going to go in and set my under eye using the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and the brush I'm using to set underneath my eyes and down the center of my face is the F35 tapered highlighter brush. Just going to dip that into the lid and dust off any excess. So I'm going to do a shimmery bronzer today, and the one I'm using is from Becca in the shade Sunlit Bronzer. It's quite a dark shade, but I really love using this. And the brush that I'm going to use is the F10 powder brush by Sigma, and I'm just going to go straight over where we put down that cream contour. I want to be quite bronzy, so I'm going to go ham and just go a little bit more than I usually would. So I'm just going to take the F06 powder sweet brush by Sigma and just dip that into my translucent powder, and I'm just going to clean up underneath that contour a little bit just to make it a little bit more defined. So for blush, I'm going to use one of my favorite blushes from Sigma, the shade Nymphia, and this is so beautiful on like light to medium skin tones. A little goes a long way. And the brush that I'm going to be using is the F40 Large Angled Contour. I'm just going to focus this kind of on the apples of my cheeks and then just slowly dragging that back and up into the contour. For highlighter, I'm going to use my all-time favorite highlighter brush, and it is the F03. It's so easy to apply. It picks up the product easily and just diffuses it really nicely. And the highlighter that I'm using today is Oh Darling by MAC. It's so pretty, this one. And I'm also going to apply some down the center of my nose, but I like to use a little pencil brush. This one is the E30 by Sigma. So now I want to go in and finish my eyebrows because I'm looking so crazy without them, and then we're going to finish underneath the eyes, do the lips, and we're all done. So the eyebrow pencil that I'm using today is the Anastasia in Auburn, and also the Anastasia gel in Auburn as well. I'm just going to start by brushing my brow hair that I do have, my very little brow hair. I kind of just start from the bottom with a really light hand and just do fine little strokes just to define that bottom area there. Don't get too worried if you mess up, because we can go in and clean them up with concealer. And then I just go from the tail, fill that in, and then work my way back to the front of the brow. And then just with a really light hand, I like to flick upward strokes just to mimic a natural brow. And then I go back to the end of the spoolie and just brush that out just to make it a little bit less harsh. So now I'm just gonna go in with the EO5 Lash Fan Brush, and I'm going to clean up underneath the brows just using a little bit of concealer. So I just go in ever so slightly. We don't wanna go in too heavy-handed, and just clean up underneath the eyebrows. Like I said, I'm kinda into like a little bit of a messy look, so I'm not gonna go in too much and clean them up. So now that the eyebrows are nice and defined, I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Tinted Brow Gel in Orbit. So I just start from the front and kind of just work my way back. I like to put most of the brow gel at the front, just so we can mimic having fuller brows. So I'm gonna take the E20 Short Shader Brush, and I'm gonna pick up that beautiful pink shade, Damask, and I'm gonna focus that on the lower lash line, just going from the outer corner all the way into the inner corner. Then I'm just gonna go in and blend that out using Summer Song, and the brush that I'm using is the E54 Medium Sweeper Brush, and I'm just gonna go directly below where we placed the last shade and really smoke that out. And then lastly, I'm gonna go in with the E15 Flat Definer Brush, and I'm gonna pick up the shade Bare Rib, and I'm gonna keep this right in that lash line as close to the eye as possible. I'm gonna use it as like liner because I don't have any liner on me at the moment. And then I'm just gonna pop on some mascara onto the lower lashes. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm gonna go in with the same pencil brush that we used to highlight the nose and the same highlighter, and I'm just going to highlight the brow bone area. So I'm gonna use one of the liquid lipsticks, and then I'm also gonna use one of the glosses. The liquid lipstick that I'm using is in the shade Cor de Rosa, and the gloss is Lilac Wine. So I am gonna go in and line my lips before I put on the gloss. And the liner that I'm gonna use is Soar by MAC, which is one of my favorite lip liners by MAC. And I'm just really gonna focus it in the middle of the bottom lip and the top lip. So now that the liner is done, I'm gonna go in with the lip gloss and just place it in the center of the lip. So I'm not gonna take it out to the corners of the lips. And then I'm just gonna finish the look off by spritzing some Fix Plus to lock everything down. So here we have the completed look. I'm so obsessed with how this turned out. Considering I haven't done my makeup in a very, very long time, I feel so cute right now. I will leave all the links down below if you guys wanted to check out the products. I'll also put down the prices as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.